Hello everybody and welcome to today's practice. Let's do some yoga, let's feel better. So for today's sequence, you'll need a couple of bricks, a blanket, and of course your sticky mat. So we'll start in Tadasana. And the first pose we're going to learn today is, or practice today, is Garu Dasana. Garu means eagle. So we're going to practice the leg aspect of the pose first. Now one thing is if you happen to be on your period, you don't really want to do this pose. You can do Utkatasana instead. So you'll have your knees apart. If you want to, you can have a foam brick in between your knees there. And when we cross the legs, you'll just be bending the knees. So don't practice Garu Dasana if you happen to be on your menstrual cycle. Otherwise, stand in Tadasana, bring your hands to the hips, bend your knees. Shift your body weight back into your heels. Bring the top of the buttocks down. Lift up through the sides of your chest. Press into your inner left heel. Cross your right leg over your left leg. And wrap your right foot all the way around. If that's not coming, push your outer right foot into the shin. And compact the legs that way. If that's not coming, have a brick on that left-hand side so you can push your foot into the brick. Now once you have your pose, roll your outer thighs to the inner thighs, move the flesh of the buttocks down, and if you have your balance, raise your arms upwards. Lift your arms into Urdhva Hastasana arms with your arms fully extended. And then straighten the knees and release your arms. Come back to Tadasana. Now of course with any balancing pose, you can also do that at a wall. So bring your right fingertips to the wall. If you're coming near to the wall, bring your feet together. Have your brick on that right hand side as well. Bend your knees, shift your, the top of your shin bone goes back, press into your inner heels, move your buttocks flesh down, and then bring this left leg over the right leg and wrap the foot around, or press the outer foot into the outer shin, or put your foot on that brick. And then get your balance, look straight forwards. Again, roll the outer thighs to the inner thighs, move the top of the buttocks down, and if you have your balance, lift your arms upwards and extend the sides of your trunk and extend your arm bones upwards. And then straighten the knees and release your legs and release your arms. Garudasana. So that's the leg aspect of the pose. Now we'll do the arm aspect of the pose. So stand with your feet sitting bone distance apart, bringing the inner edges of your feet parallel. So a decentralized Tadasana. Bring your arms in front of you in this way so the elbows are bent, and bring your right arm under your left arm. Bring your right elbow under your left elbow. Bring your right hand back towards your face and then around so that your right hand comes to the inner left hand. Point all of your fingers upwards and move the outer edges of your little fingers forward away from your face. Lift your elbows, relax the back of your neck muscles. Garudasana. As you're in the pose, keep lifting your breastbone and broadening your collarbones away from each other. And release your arms. Lift up your arms with your elbows bent. Bring your left arm under your right arm. Bring your left hand back towards the face, and then your left hand comes inside the right. Point your fingers upwards, your thumbs backwards towards your face, and the outer edges of your little fingers are forward. Raise your elbows and move your hands away from your forehead. Keep your collarbones moving away from each other. So keep that spreading of the top of the chest even as you're wrapping your arms together. Take deeper, fuller breaths in and out. And release. So that's Garu, eagle, arms. Now let's put those two aspects of the pose together. Stand in Tadasana with your feet together. Bring your hands to the hips. Bend the knees. Press into your inner left heel. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Remember, go to the wall if that's better for you. Move your body weight back into your left heel. Bring the top of the buttocks down, and then bring your arms up. Now your right leg is over, so bring your right arm under. Intertwine the arms. Keep your eyes focused. Lift your elbows. Relax your back upper neck muscles. Roll your outer thighs in. Spread your collarbones away from each other. And release your arms and release your legs. If you're using the brick, of course, move it to the other side. Otherwise, bring your hands to the hips. If you're at the wall, just turn around. Bend your knees. Press into the sticky mat with your right inner heel for balance. Lift up your left leg and cross your left leg over the right. Intertwine the legs. Roll the outer thighs to the inner thighs, and then raise your arms upwards. Bring your left arm under your right arm. Bring the left hand back towards the face. Intertwine the arms. Lift your elbows. Move your hands forward. Roll your outer thighs in. Lift your chest and spread your collarbones away from the top of your breastbone. And release. Come back to Tadasana. Great. Now move this brick to the side. We don't need this brick for the next posture. Stand with your heels at the back of your mat. In Tadasana, bring your hands to the top of your chest. Lift your arms up and out and take your feet out under your hands, very wide, all the way out under your finger bones. Turn the feet inwards slightly and bring your hands to the hips. So the next pose we're going to do is called Prasarita Padottanasana, but we're going to do a version called Adho Mukha. Prasarita Padottanasana. So Adho Mukha means downward facing, intense spread leg pose. So the downward facing, intense spread leg pose. So press the outer edges of your feet down, draw the kneecaps up, move your thighs back, and lift the front of your pelvis up off of your thighs. Lift up through the sides of your chest, bring the shoulders back, move your shoulder blades into your back ribs and look upwards, inhaling. As you exhale, come forward, reaching with your chin and breastbone, and bring your fingertips down to the floor. Now press your hands down into the floor and lift your breastbone forward. And just like we did in Garudasana, broaden across your collarbones. Keep your kneecaps lifting. Maintain that. Now, of course, you can have bricks under your hands. If there's a lot of kyphosis or rounding in the back there, then what you want to do is put some bricks under your hands to get rid of any roundedness in the upper back. Now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and bring your legs back together. Stand in Tadasana. Take a deeper breath in and out. Now, we'll do the Adho Mukha version, walking the hands forward. Bring your hands to the chest, lift up your arms, and now take your left and then your right leg out. Turn your feet slightly inwards and raise your kneecaps upwards. Bring your hands to the hips. Move your thighs back and bring the front of your pelvis upwards. Lift up through the sides of your chest. Roll your shoulders back. Move your shoulder blades deep into your back ribs. Look up and then come forward, reaching with your breastbone. Don't let your hips move backwards. Now bring your fingertips down to the floor or bricks. Lift your chest. Get rid of any roundedness in the upper back. Maintain that as you walk your hands all the way forward. Now as you walk your hands forward, don't let your hips go forward. Keep your hips right over your ankles. So press again the outer edges of your feet, raise the fronts of your thighs upwards, lengthen the sides of your trunk, keep your head right in between your arms. Be on your fingertips and deepen your breath. Keep extending the breastbone forward, fully extending the legs and the arms, lengthening the sides of the trunk. And now walk your hands back, come back to concave back. You can bring your feet a little bit closer in once or twice. Bring your hands to the hips and come up. Join your arms and your legs back together and stand in Tadasana. Okay, now we'll come down to the floor now. So you can take a blanket and spread it out on your mat. You can also just double the mat if that's better for you. Just double the mat. Because we're going to come to a pose called Virasana. So you'll need a brick, maybe 2 bricks, depending on how flexible your hips are and how sensitive your knees are. So I'll just turn my back to you just for a moment so you can see where the brick goes. The brick goes right in between my feet, like that. Now you can always move that 1 brick higher, or if you have any sensitivity in your knees, stiffness in the hips, you can even use 2 bricks. Like that, okay? So otherwise I'm going to turn around. So now you see where the brick goes. I'm just going to use 1. So bring your inner thighs all the way together, this way, with the brick in between your feet. And then take your fingers and move your calf muscles. Get your fingertips behind the knees. Move your calf muscles back towards your heels and out so that there's a spreading of the calf muscles. Make sure that all of your toes are reaching straight backwards. The feet have a tendency to sickle inwards. Reach the toes backwards, and then take your right hand and pull the skin from around your right shin bone and your knee forward, and then do the same thing with that left knee. Bring it forward. Now lift up your hips just a little bit and pull the flesh of your buttocks back so that you're more right on the center of your sitting bones. Again, if this feels at all uncomfortable for your knees, please add the second brick. Some of you don't need to be sitting on a brick, and you can sit all the way down on the floor, or maybe you can sit on the edge of a folded blanket. You can take yourself a little bit lower. Eventually, you do want to come to the floor unless you're dealing with any knee sensitivity or injury. So this is Virasana, the hero's pose. So as you reach back through the toes, lift up through the sides of the chest, and keep pressing into the outer shins. The outer shins go down. Roll the shoulders back. And now we'll do Parvatasana, which means the little mountain arms. So interlace your fingers all the way to the webbing. Thumbs are crossing. Turn your palms forward. Stretch the skin on the palms of the hands. And then raise the arms upwards. Go up with your side chest. Squeeze your outer arms in. And without leaning your shoulders back, move your inner upper arms back. Deepening your breath. And then bring your arms forward and just move the fingers, one finger forward or backwards. Interlace the fingers. Lift up through your chest and then raise your arms upwards. Straighten your arms. Lift up through the sides of your trunk. Squeeze your outer arms in. Inhale and move your inner upper arms back without allowing your shoulders to go back. It's the arms that go back. And then bring your arms forward and down. Very good. Now stretch your right leg forward into Dandasana, and then stretch your left leg forward into Dandasana, just to release the backs of the knees. So grip your knees. Press the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Just come onto your fingertips here and lift up through your chest. Make sure that your sacrum is lifting in and up. Keep the outer shoulders back and the shoulder blades pressing into the back ribs. The next pose is Chatush Padasana, which is the four-footed animal pose. So I'm just putting a blanket across the mat, having enough room for my head there. And then lie down on your back with your shoulders about one thumb distance away from the edge of the blankets there, just one of your thumb's distance. Move the flesh of your buttocks towards your feet. Hold on to the sides of the sticky mat and stretch the sticky mat, or stretch the sticky mat towards your feet so that your ribs move away from your pelvis. And then maintain that. Keep rolling the inner arms to the outer arms. Turn your feet inwards. Press down through your inner heels and raise your middle buttocks all the way up. As you raise the buttocks up, climb up onto the top spine of your scapula. Roll the outer thighs to the inner thighs and bring your shin bones back towards your buttocks. And lift up. This is Chatush Padasana. And then come down. Deepen your breath. Once again, hold the mat. Roll the inner arms to the outer arms. Press your outer shoulders down into the blankets. Press your inner heels into the sticky mat and lift your middle buttocks up. Keep turning the inner arms to the outer arms, climbing up onto the top of your shoulders. Roll your outer thighs to the inner thighs and bring your shin bones back so that your middle buttocks really lifts higher and higher and higher. And then come down, lengthening that buttocks flesh. The next pose is Setu Bandha. So we'll take one brick at the lowest level, the widest way, and put it under your sacrum. Make sure it's under your sacrum, not under your lumbar spine, which is there. It's under the sacrum, that flat bone at your very lower back. If that feels doable, add a second brick if you happen to have one handy, or you can move the first brick to a higher level as long as it's a stable brick. Feel free to keep your knees bent if you have any lower back sensitivity. Otherwise, scrub your right heel along the floor. Roll your outer right thigh to the inner thigh. Scrub your left leg along the floor. Roll the outer thigh to the inner thigh. Turn your inner arms to the outer arms. Lengthen the back of the neck. Close your eyes. Those of you who wear glasses, for any restorative pose like this, you can remove glasses. Relax your jaw, your tongue, your throat. Keep your legs extending. Remember, bend the knees if there's any lower back sensitivity. You can also elevate your feet up on height if you happen to have that around. Guruji calls this pose a boon to humanity. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. The bridge. Now bend your knees, lift up your hips and take away the bricks. And let your back come down. Okay, and now roll to the side, and then you can take this blanket and fold it. Just turn it around this way, actually, so that the rounded edge goes towards your shoulders. And again, lie down on your back. Lengthen again your buttocks flesh one more time. Lift your ribs away from your pelvis. Extend your legs. Turn your inner arms to the outer arms. And relax your legs, relax your arms, lengthening the back of the neck. Shavasana.